What's up, everybody? This is Dante, the Silent. It is Happy Wednesday, Happy Y Date Wednesday. I know it's my first time doing recording on Wednesday. It is, I'm off today, so that works out for me. But, I'm going to get into it with the intro, little announcements. YouTube subscribers, if you guys haven't done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Y Date Podcast, if you can look it up. I'll put the link down below on my bio. And also, if you guys listen to the podcast on Apple, Google Play, and Spotify, we just now got on Spotify, finally. Yes. It took me a minute to get on Spotify, but we finally got on Spotify. And I'm on Spotify. Of course, I'm on SoundCloud too as well if you guys want to listen to our content. I'll throw in, if you guys haven't got us on the IG, Instagram, for all you hip people, like IG is called Instagram, okay? So I'm on there, Y_date_. I know I'm using my profile for you for the live on here, but follow it on there. I have more content on there, more things, questions and things to ask for everyone on there. And I will run, just letting you guys know, I am running Y Date solo. I had some co-hosts before, a couple seasons before. There's still going to be guest speakers on there. I know Max Savage, Renaissance Man. They're all not going to be on for not all the episodes. It's going to be me hosting it, doing all the marketing, doing all the content for you guys. Doing my best. I know I'm on my own. Work with me. Bear with me, everybody. But, I'm going to probably be posting more stuff solo about myself. I'm still on a search for a co-host. There may be someone who wants to become a co-host. Let me know. Send me a DM or email Dante Johnson, djohnsonc9t at gmail.com. So, send me some stuff. But I'm going to get into it. That's kind of what the updates, announcements is going on with our Y Date itself. I'm just happy we're on Spotify now. A little recap that we are going to be, a little recap on the last episode on Kill the White Knight. I know it was interesting. I wasn't able to record or save my video on my Instagram. I don't know what happened. It didn't save. So I did it kind of bootleg. I did a screen recording and then I just posted it on YouTube. It's just I apologize for anyone who had to bear through that episode. But hopefully this time around I'm doing it on this Instagram again. We'll see what happens. But I'm bringing Alpha Monk definitely he was on our last episode, Alpha Monk, if you listen to him. He made some pretty good views. My views about Killing the White Knight, if you guys know what White Knights are, I'll re-explain it again. That it is pretty much people who are trying to be the heroes, are trying to be that, quote-unquote good guy, and they're trying to, it's not bad, but some of them are just trying to do that just as a front, and I notice a lot of guys do that. They try to be like that heroic person, but they're really not that person. I think that's what we talked about a little bit, and they try to and a good point that Alpha Monk did say, he did made it some, I posted on the Instagram on our episode 2 as well. He talked about, a man who speaks a women's language is not a real man. We have no idea how to understand the language of women as from men's perspective. And, you can time it on that one, don't worry. We'll talk about that one. But he said that, and it made some good points. I mean, I think that, speaking the same language as someone else is definitely, as far as women, he said we're totally oblivious to understanding the women's language, and that's what it is. And any guy who tries to understand that, it's just you're not being a real man. So you guys listen to the episode. It's on the last, prior before this one. And you guys can time in or say what you guys need to say about that episode. Or any suggestions or any things you guys want to say, please feel free to let me know. And I'm going to get into the speaker now because I know we're kind of running short on time. She has to be somewhere. But I appreciate her for being on. Just a little bit about her. I know you guys, I posted on my Instagram and I posted on my Facebook a little about her, a little intro about her. She was on TED Talks, right? And she was featured on Dating Advice, USA Network, The Huntington Post, Yes Magazine, Thought Catalog. I go through a whole thing she was featured on. And so I'm very fortunate to have her on. I'm very man, this is my first dating coach I've ever had on here. We had a matchmaker before, We had a matchmaker a couple of episodes before, so it's good to see someone, a dating coach, a professional dating coach. Guys, I dug into it. She outreached to me, and we connected. We talked a few times, and she is the CEO and founder of Good Gentlemen. She'll tell you a little bit more about her website, and that's just a platform for her. If you guys don't know, it's a platform for her that helps the potential guy, help other clients and consciously help them find the right person. So the intentional guy. So I could be wrong about that, but she'll explain a little bit more about it. And her overall mission is to help the intentional guy, find the confidence to attract the right person. And I think that's huge to have that mission statement there, because I feel like I feel like that's like a women version of like Hitch. Like Hitch was finding that intentional guy. I know she hates it. She probably is like rolling her eyes like, oh my gosh. But it's good to see like she's not finding like douchebag guys. Like she's finding to get intentional men. So to find a great partner. So I don't know. I was like waiting for her to say it. I know she knew I was gonna say that. But definitely she's very entertaining too. Like I listened to her on her TED Talks. She has very relatable content, which is very entertaining. It is relatable. I was like, oh, that's true. She knows. So I could tell she knows what she's doing. If you guys feel free to listen to her on YouTube too. I'll post the link on the YouTube of her TED Talk that I posted on our Instagram. And I don't want to get too much of her time. I'll give her the digital mic, because we're on digital. She's all the way in San Diego, and I'm up here in the Bay Area. So I'm not going to take too much time. I'll present Ruby. Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
And I must say, that was quite a good intro you did of me. And the great part is, I don't know actually if you read it, but I call myself the female Asian Hitch. That's what people call me. So that's why I was laughing. And I always describe that as my work because so many people have watched that movie. And
Yeah.
I play the guy in there that Will Smith plays. I'm just the Asian female version. I help the good guys. That's why I say the good intention guys. All the Albert Brenneman in there that are maybe a little awkward, but don't know how to attract that person. And so that is exactly me. So I don't hate it at all. I was actually laughing because I was like, that is how I market myself, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, and I didn't want to offend you in any kind of way, but I was reading it, I was like, that's a little bit about her. That's like the Hitch right there, just the Asian form, right?
Yeah, basically.
But I know everyone's looking at my face on live stream. They don't look at my ugly face, but it's okay. But yeah, so give me a little bio about yourself.
Sure.
I know we spoke a few times, but I want the listeners to know who you are as a person. And
Sure. So this journey started back for me surprisingly in high school. I was just so always intrigued by dating and relationships, and it just came natural to me when people would ask me for advice. And I will always remember there's a Rubik's Cube Club, if you've ever had that. And I was there, and I think one of the guys was talking about a crush he had. And I just helped him in the simplicity of finding his confidence and kind of looking up. Because a lot of times, in high school, you're growing, but a lot of people look down. And I just realized after that, wow, I kind of loved that. But when I went to college, I tried a lot of different majors. With an Asian background, they're pretty strict on what you should be doing. So I tried that, but then I figured out my passion. And I was like, no, I love relationships. So I got my bachelor's in social work, my master's in marriage and family therapy. So I was a couples therapist for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized a lot of these couples shouldn't have been together in the first place. So that's when I started working with singles. And I worked as a matchmaker for a variety of firms. And then I worked for eHarmony.com as well as their lead matchmaker, coach, and trainer there. And it was from there that, in a corporate, they taught you a lot of clients. And it was from there that I realized I knew who I needed the most. And those are the guys, especially guys, just because I've been surrounded by brothers all my life. So I think I naturally think in a very analytical, logical way. Yet I have a female brain with these feelings and emotions. And so I was like, I really want to help these good guys, these good intentional men who fall under the cracks, fall in the cracks of online dating. They're not noticed. They're maybe reserved or shy. And so I decided, you know what? I feel like I can do a lot of this on my own. So that's what I did.
Wow.
So that's how Good Gentlemen was created. And Good Gentlemen with an A, singular.
Oh.
Don't do the other way. So I always have to say that a good gentleman, like singular, A-N, not E-N.
Oh. Well, I mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't check out that other site, I mean, if you really want to. But yeah, so
Okay.
that's my journey.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't know you with eHarmony. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I'd use that dating app somewhere down the But, no, well, I mean, what does a good intentional guy look like to you? Like, how would you be able to find that? You know?
It's someone that respects not only women, but people. They're kind. They're actually kind. And I don't use the word nice, right? Because there's always that wrongly labeled nice guy. But being kind and respectful and knowing what he wants in the future and what he envisions for himself. And just has a good heart. Like that's it. Just have a good heart that is open to change and open to adjustments and knowing that, we're not all perfect. I want this in my life. I have this goal and I'm willing to invest my time and energy to get there.
Wow.
So good-hearted and knows that they're willing to change something to get to their goals.
Wow. Well, that's what have you ran across any people that didn't meet that criteria?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's interesting because I'm pretty sure you've heard of women talk about douchebags and, like these horrible guys. Yeah. They're out there. And even though I market, to good guys, those kind of guys still find their way. But I notice it on the phone and I just sound like that's not my philosophy and I'm not that girl for you. So basically, like, imagine a man that just wants to get laid, and get a bunch of dates to do so and wants to pick up girls versus the guy who wants a happy, good, long-term relationship. Yeah. That's the biggest difference.
And guys are like, those guys out there like, yeah, I think I'm a good guy. I helped the old woman across the street. Like, like.
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't define you being a good guy, but yeah, it's fine.
Exactly. I can dissect those too. They're like, well, I am a good guy. I'm a gentleman. Oh, that's a classic. To call themselves a gentleman. I'm a gentleman. But I'm just saying, that lady over there is blah, blah, blah. I'm like, excuse me?
It's so true. They're just like, yeah, I'm this guy. I fit these qualities, right?
Exactly. I open doors, and that's the thing. My company's called Good Gentleman, but the thing is, gentleman is so misused at times because I've seen men get mad, let's say, because a woman doesn't fall for him, but he's like, I'm a gentleman because I pull out her chair and I open her door. It's like, yes, but really, what were the intentions behind that?
Right?
You're already getting mad. Like, what? You didn't do that for a good reason.
Which is why I brought those white knights out there, so.
Exactly. That's why when you were talking about it, I was nodding my head. I was like, oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah. I'm sure you encounter a lot of those type of guys out there. And, and I'm not going to say, like, okay, like, they're different from men. They speak for all men. So I'm not going to be like those guys like, oh, yeah, they're different from me. I'm not that kind of man. But we're still in that same branch of men. So, like, it's best we can either help them or, or let them just do whatever they want. So, that's why I did that. I wasn't trying to, like, attack anybody, like, men in general. Because I'm not saying I'm the perfect gentleman or anything like that. But I've seen other guys who I've hung out with who are, like, just like, man, you're really, like, good-hearted person. Like, man, right? So I just see that. I'm like, oh, my gosh, like, you're really good, So, I mean, I think that's in your line of work. I'm sure you know how to spot it like that easily. So,
yes,
that's just like
it's one of those things too. To each their own. Just like you're saying, no, there is no really perfect person. Everybody has their own goals, has their own values and beliefs. I just have a certain type of person that I work with, and that's it. Like, they can do what they like. So
have them refer them to Tinder or go on Tinder. There's a really great app.
Premium version.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I mean, another question I did want to ask too as well. I know I wrote some questions down. Believe it or not, guys, I wrote questions down. Okay, so so don't judge me, guys. I wrote questions. Okay, so relatable content. What I wanted to ask you about is your thoughts of dating. Why date? What you mean? Like, what is your thoughts? I know dating since you're a dating coach. I always want to ask. Why should we date? Like, what's your belief on dating itself? Like, what do you? I mean, if that makes sense. I don't know if that question makes any sense, but
Sure. And I actually love that question because it's one of the initial questions I ask any possibly inquiry or client that may want to work with me.
Yeah.
Because everybody's why is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's. It could be because that's what their values are, and or that could be because they don't want to be lonely, or they don't want. Everybody has their own reason.
Yeah.
What I would say is, in my perspective, why date is because I believe that there is a happiness that you can achieve when you have found that right person, and a level of fulfillment that cannot be reached without that right person in your life. It's like a whole nother level of growth for yourself, and also a whole nother level of happiness that you can't achieve alone.
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, with the right person.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to think, oh, they're just going to date, and if it's a toxic relationship, no, that is not a happiness that I'm talking about. No. But I do believe it brings out a new side of you if it's the right person, and I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. They unlock some secrets and you're like, oh, I didn't know I had this.
Yes, exactly.
It
either unlocks some kind of great potential, or sometimes some inner demons that you never knew you had, but you're willing to work on it from there. And if it's with the right person, then they'll be there with you along the way.
That makes sense. That's a different perspective. I never heard anyone say it from that point of view. I've heard a couple of people who had on here, but I never heard it from that perspective, like to have that person to be able to bring the best out of you, or hopefully not the worst, but the best. So,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I will say it goes both ways in growth when you are with that special person, and growth while you're dating in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're looking at dating in the right way, you grow.
Yeah.
You just do. Even though you're dating multiple people, or you get rejected, or you don't, or you reject someone, like you're growing in the process as a person.
Well, that makes sense. Now, going on to that subject, actually, for the people who, let's say, you said people bring out like dating in that perspective in a positive sense. Have you ever dealt with clients who've been mistreated or just been like cheated on by their girlfriends, and they're just like, their trust is just like, ugh.
Of course,
they give up, right? You dealt with that?
Yeah.
What do you recommend for those type of clients?
Is to remember what the long-term goal is.
Yeah.
Right? Like the why. Remember what your long-term goal is, and if it really is, I don't want to be alone 10 years from now. I want to feel that love. If that's the case, remembering the goal, and then also recognizing that is the past, and you can't let the past run your present. What you can do is figure out, okay, that was bad, but what can I do now to not do that again? And what can I do differently so it doesn't happen again? Because that's usually the mistake people make, is it happens, and then they're just, whatever, I'll just try again. But they're doing the same thing instead of reflecting on how they potentially could have, let's say, attracted that person. If it was someone that cheated on them, what could have happened? Instead of that, they just jump to the next. Yeah. And the thing is that if you don't reflect on what happens, you're going to attract the same thing, and you're going to go in a circle all over again. Yeah. It's like a circle until you learn from it, and then you can move on.
Oh, that makes sense. Because I know people who like, oh, I'm not looking for this person, and then they keep having that same person, the next person, the next person, the next.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're just like, have you learned?
And exactly. It's with that. It's just figure out because you can't control the other person. Yeah. Unfortunately, as much as we want to blame them, we can be mad and sad. So let's like give yourself a time frame. But at the end of the day, you can only know yourself. Yeah. So to really reflect on what can I change now that could have gotten me in that, and take it from there. And I think lastly, I talk to a lot of people. Usually they come to me when they're almost losing complete hope. Yeah. And that's why they're asking for help. And I've always said in that case, well, point one is that they are actually doing something so different, which is, let's say, listening to a podcast even, or asking me for advice. Like, that is already hope. Yeah. And they need to remember that it's not a dead end. Yeah. People keep thinking, this is it for me. Oh, I'm at this age. It's a dead end. There's no way it will work. I was like, no, because I'm pretty darn sure you haven't tried everything. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Try not to close all your doors. And a lot of people do, and they just like, no, I'm just never, I can't. No, they just have like a big fence to block that out. And I've seen a lot of people just go through that. And I feel kind of bad. And I'm just like, man, like, You know, it's only you're so hopeful of situations. And I think a lot of people are very pessimistic, especially with dating. They're just like, ugh. Like they just shrug their head. Like every time I have like my shirt on, there's a why, why do we? Because I wear my date shirt, and walk around. It's like,
oh my gosh, really?
they're just like. I was like, let's listen to some episodes. Hopefully, it's of help of value for you. But I can't help you unless you don't want to help yourself.
Exactly. So. And a really quick note on that, I loved how you brought that up, is a big chunk of that is your mindset.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't know if you believe in this, but anything in my life, if I already think I'm not going to get it, I don't get it.
Yeah.
If I already think I'm going to fail, if I hate it, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
And even personally, I've been through heartbreak or I've been through rejection, but my mindset was always no. Like, I know it's going to happen for me.
Yeah.
No matter how much this hurts, like, I know. And because of that, it's just progression. But
yeah. And that's why you're the founder and CEO of... right?
Yep. So that's why majority of my time is building that hope back up.
Yeah.
Because you don't really go anywhere if you just see and you stay in the darkness.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be like Batman, but I want.
Let's not be in that case.
Yeah, he stays in the dark. I don't know if I want to. It's a DC reference. Sorry, I'm just a big. I just saw the movie Shazam, so I'm just.
I see that on your shirt.
Oh yeah. If people aren't listening or watching this, like, I'm wearing a DC shirt, so I'm. Okay, cool. Let's see what other question I have for you. Lastly, question I want to ask. Where do you see yourself in, like, the company, or just in 10, 15, 20 years? What do you see? What the vision that you've impacted others? What do you see that? I always want to ask that question.
So this is a stretch. But I originally started this actually with the vision of hopefully more exposure. But when I get exposure, it's because I want people to not look at good guys or quote unquote nice guys the way that the society is looking at them.
Yeah.
I started doing this, and I actually started marketing myself as someone who helps the quote unquote nice guys, because I was really tired of I saw them not being even given the chance, because there's all this media and how these guys are wimps and all these things, and I not only want to change that side, so how society is viewing them. So like there are some articles out there that are more geared towards women, telling them to date the nice guy, but then also I want to help the guys because they are so immersed in this message.
Yeah.
That I want to be the ones to pull them out of that and recognize, like, you are a great dude. You're so confident. You're awesome. You're actually the ones that girls want to date.
Yeah.
But you're so stuck in this little jar because of what society has done that you're not seeing it.
Yeah.
So how I almost envision is this kind of like, like I'm just known for helping these nice guys, but I hope to impact even more people. Like right now I do a lot of one-on-one. But hopefully it'll be like more groups, or workshops, so I can help more than just, because obviously one-on-ones, it's, I'm limited on time.
Yeah.
But I just really hope to continue that and reach out to more and more people and speak. I've done TEDx, but I hope to speak more in front of these guys so that I could just help more people.
Wow. Well, that's definitely, that vision is very strong, to help many people. You're doing one-on-ones. I'm sure at some point you're going to be doing a workshop or something like that in the future. I'd like to tune into that, because that whole myth of like hearing the nice guys finish last, that's what they all believe in. They're just like, oh well, I guess I never get the good girl because I'm that nice guy.
Exactly.
So you're changing that stigma.
Yes.
That's good.
Exactly.
Well,
on both sides, hopefully.
Oh,
so.
yeah. the jerks, but yeah, it's just it balance.
Girlfriends too. I have girlfriends, and I tell them, I'm like, what? You don't like him because he's nice to you?
It's just like, oh no, you have to be this tough guy, wearing the leather jacket, driving a motorcycle, in the sunset.
No.
It's like
I hear that so much. Where people ask, do I have to be the bad boy to get the girl? I'm like, oh, no.
In long term, as women get older, they start to see like, nice guys aren't really the better solution right now, So That's good though. That's good to see that someone's making a difference, especially for the nice
Thanks.
guys out there. Okay. Well, I mean, I know we get into the topic of rejection. Actually, that was a topic I was supposed to talk about. Let me put this down because my arm hurts. Okay. I'm actually holding my phone. I'm like, oh man, I need to take a break. All right.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm just doing it all today. So yeah, I want to talk about rejection in another way, another sense, because I think that yes, we all know rejection is. We all know people get hurt that way.
Yeah.
But I want to actually talk about for both men and women, like the standardization. From what I've seen, this is what, I could be wrong. I have a lot of friends who are women that I've talked to, I spoke to about this. And I said, like, how many times have a guy rejected you? And she said, oh, maybe 2 or 3 years. Like, was it really a rejection, or was it just they had a girlfriend, or, you know what I mean? What was that rejection? Is they say completely they're just not interested in you, like flat out? Has that ever happened? They said, I mean, a lot of them just say, oh, they have a girlfriend, or maybe every now and then not interested in them. But like usually that standard of men like just rejecting women, it just doesn't happen too often. I'm not sure in your personal experience, but I think what I've told women when I've rejected them, and we have to be kind of nice about it in a way, like we don't, because women like you women like are hit us right in the core, like I'm not interested in you, like blah, you get out of here, right? Like, and it's guys just like we shrug it off, but we just move on to it. But I think that the issue that I had with that was when I say that to a girl, they're just like, oh, there's something wrong with him. Like I know I got these qualities. He must be gay or something like that. And it's just like, right? And it's just like, and when I friend zone them, it's even worse because they'll say, oh, I ever have enough guy friends. I don't need to know anymore. And I'm just like, that's kind of a weird way of going about it. But what, right? But I'm telling you, it happens all the time. I swear. So I want to talk about that. I didn't really talk about it at all in my podcast episodes at all. But I want to, discuss that. Pushing your line of work, I'm sure you dealt with clients who weren't. I mean, had everyone you matched up with, the women that you or find the person they attracted to, have they told you about their getting rejected or?
Absolutely.
And they were like, and now for a guy's perspective, some guys, do they shrug it off as quicker than most, or it's just the same, like they'll be ready for like.
So it's a little different for everybody, right? And just like you're mentioning, for women, there are some women who are like, fine, whatever, how dare you reject me? They have this attitude already with it, while there's others that are really hurt by it. And there are certain women that I've known that may have been rejected more than, let's say, another woman.
Yeah.
And it hurts her more. So it's hard because it's everybody's separate individual experience.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it depends on how much of a strong character you have in yourself.
Yeah.
And that is how much it would affect you, or less so. If you have obviously a stronger character and you are very confident, it doesn't affect you as much. It will hurt in the moment. But the ideal reaction, right, for anyone that has a very healthy mindset is just, oh, okay, well, that sucks, but, thank you for your time.
Right.
And that's that. The hard thing is that, and what I've seen at least is for women, when they get rejected and they're not of a healthy mindset, right, they take it as a very lash out to the guy.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you're missing, and that kind of attitude. While for men, it could be that. They could be blaming the woman, but actually it hurts them and their ego much more.
I've noticed that.
And that's why I've heard more of, let's say, men wanting to give up because the rejection hurts so bad.
Yeah.
And you're right, women are more mean about it. So that's the hard part. Like, I do see when guys reject girls, they're not as mean. They're like, sorry, if he does have a girlfriend, then he'll say that. But they usually say it in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
They're all like, ew, go away.
Yeah.
Well, for guys, I've heard horrible stories of women and the way they say no.
Yeah.
So I can see how it really affects their self-esteem and ego.
Yeah.
So those are the two sides I'm seeing.
Now, for you, have you been rejected by a guy? I mean, just of your personal, like, how was that rejection like? If it happened?
Yes, but it was never an initial approach.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because the main ones that hurt are the ones that, let's say, you see them like at a courtyard, you try to talk to them, right? It's right in the moment. But a rejection that's happened to me is more of, let's say you already had 1 or 2 dates.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So okay.
Just because if I pursue someone, it's not really cold. That's what I call it, like a cold approach. It's not like I meet someone at the bar and I go after the person.
Yeah.
That's just not my personality. So that's why I've never had a cold. I call them cold rejections. But dating rejections, yes, but they've been always respectful about it and just say, it's not going to work out and such, and which ends up being totally fine.
Okay, I'm trying to like do this and multitask at the same time. All right. I'm trying to record this while I'm not using my hand. But okay, so you said a warm type of
rejection, yeah.
You said cold. I'm trying to find out what's a cold and a warm. I'm kind of.
So cold is like initial approach at a bar. You see her, you approach her, ask how she's doing, say that she's pretty, and then she rejects you. It's very cold because you have no information about her. You just saw her. Warm is more of either way. Let's say online dating or meeting at the bar, but you already got the interest. Somehow, some way, there's already interest, and then you have 1 date maybe or 2. So it's a warm up because you got to know each other. And then the person rejects from there. That's very different.
Oh, so they gave it a chance, yeah.
Yeah. So those ones don't obviously hurt as bad. It only does if you keep getting rejected for the same reason. And it's part of your, maybe it's part of your past or something like that. Like for men, if it's for some reason their career, right? If they notice that women reject them after they notice what they do, that starts to hurt. Things like that. So that's more of a warm rejection. Cold is just a guy saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then she rolls her eyes.
Guys won't get that yet until they say it.
And she's like, "You're not my type." I don't know what I can say. But
yeah. I'm not sure if I count my rejections as far as my personal experience, but I remember I sadly, I'm gonna be honest, I use Tinder, right? And I literally told the girl what I did for a living. I was like, oh yeah, I work as customer service, and like she literally just unmatched me. I was like, whoa, was that a rejection or did that just happen or?
Oh my God.
I don't know. Like I was just like, how do I go about this? Like I didn't even. She asked me what I did, and I answered the question, but I didn't tell her what I'm going to do or what I'm going to be, or it's just kind of weird. But I was like, oh, okay, all right. I just count as one.
One thing I will say about that too is it's so hard because we never know the other person's perspective and what they're going through.
Yeah.
Let's say that keeps happening to you. Let's say every time you mention your job, you get unmatched.
Yeah.
Unmatched or no.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll start to realize that either you keep getting these girls somehow, but there's something there. But if it's a one-time thing, I always say, like, don't think so much into it because, quite honestly, what if something happens?
Yeah.
And she delete all her apps and she's under a lot of stress.
True.
You really don't know. So you just always can't think the worst immediately.
Yeah. I was like, oh. But it was just like, oh, all right. Just go on and move forward, I guess, But okay, that's good perspective. I thought I tried to think about it in my head. So maybe something happened. Yeah. Whatever, So
right. That helps you though. That helps you kind of overcome hurt.
Yeah.
So for a perfect example, when I said the girl rolls her eyes says you're not my type, that actually happened to one of my clients.
Yeah.
And that's like the worst because he didn't even do anything and she already said you're not my type.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, it's really thinking in her perspective and saying, wow, like what kind of experience she must have had with previous men.
Yeah.
Where she already had to make that assumption and judge him for that and reject him. She may be having a bad time, bad day, or had a line of bad guys, but it's really not him at that point. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and I see it sometimes when when you're out and about at a bar and you meet a girl, she's just like I'm not. It's like, oh, I didn't even, But I listened to your TED Talk where you talked about that. It's like, how would you know? How would you build someone initially from that? Like, how do you, So a lot of that resonated with me. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I never saw in that picture, especially from a woman's perspective. Of course, women have their. You guys like whatever, push them away. Like you guys are easier to take the rejection, get the rejection out. But I was just kind of like, man, can they take rejections back? You know, like, can I count how many times on the finger that how many times a woman get rejected by a guy? It doesn't happen too often. You know, guys just go, oh, okay. You know, all right, yeah. Or like, you know, and I even told my friend, I hope she's listening. I told her that, how about you just ask this guy, because I don't know what type of game or approach that women do that try to draw a guy to engage. Because like, so I know some girls that actually go out and chase a guy or whatever called they chase someone, and they throw him something for us to catch, and we're supposed to engage after that. So I'm not sure how they go about that. Some guys don't know, and they just kind of I guess like, well, I talked to him and he just didn't respond, reciprocate anything back. So I was like, how about you just take him out, ask him to go get coffee, maybe mention that you'll pay for it. He might go. And I don't know how that worked. She said it worked for her, but she said she tried it, and he actually went on a date with him.
Right.
But, you know, it's like sometimes guys just aren't going to know that, you know? But, yeah. So what was I going to ask? Yeah. So do you, for women, if you guys get a rejection, what do you guys, does it hurt typically more than it was for a man get rejected? That's a question I want to ask.
That's a difficult question to answer, just because, like I said, everyone's so different.
Yeah.
It really, really, really is about your own confidence.
Yeah.
Now here's, I guess, the biggest difference, right, is the strongest thing that runs for women are emotions and feelings. For men, it's their ego and their self-esteem. So, what does that mean? That means that when a woman gets rejected, she is hurt. And it's going to take a while for those feelings to pass and to be processed. But usually it is processed and she has to figure out how. But I do realize, at least this, that because their feelings which just pass, they don't last as strongly as, let's say, if you hit down an ego.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So if a guy gets rejected, especially constantly, and he is constantly being pushed down and his ego is being just chopped away, it will last longer.
Yeah.
So that's why the pain is there longer and they lose hope faster. And for ladies, you'd have to be rejected a lot to already lose hope.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because, yeah, I mean, I know it's a tough question to ask. But yeah, everyone is different, and like you said, it does strike a man's ego hardly. Yeah. And I've seen it happen. They're just like, ugh, like my ego, like. And men, we're macho. We like to have ego, and try to tell guys, ego is not your amigo. So you gotta, you gotta get that out of there. I mean, I'm not sure if you had any other questions to ask me. I don't have any Q&As. But I think everyone can't really see me on here probably because of Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Well, I mean, on this topic, I will say for anyone listening, I think the most important thing to kind of leave everybody with is that, and remembering that rejection, the only person that can reject you is you.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to hear that. The only person that can reject you is you. If you don't know yourself, if you don't feel confident in yourself, it's very, very easy to let a rejection run you, but it really shouldn't define you.
Yeah.
And that's what people forget. Like, that lady or that guy who's only known you for a bit can't define you. And if you let that rejection get to you and bring you down, then you need to build yourself back up. Yeah. Because you're the only one that can reject yourself. It's really true to that.
Huh. Yeah. And rejection, you mean just rejecting ourselves? Maybe you give a little more explanation on rejecting ourselves. What's a good example for someone who is rejecting herself?
So it's like saying, wow, so that means I'm not attractive enough?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're rejecting yourself there. Like, oh, okay, because she turned away from me. Wow, I must not be good looking. I'm really ugly. I'm just ugly.
Yeah.
She never said that, but you were creating it in your head, and you're rejecting yourself.
Oh.
But if you have the confidence, you're like, well, okay, well, that's that.
Yeah.
I know that, I know I'm a great person, so I'm just gonna move on. Like that doesn't define my worth.
Yeah, I think a lot of women shy more on that one.
Yeah.
I think most women just like, whatever. I know I
Yeah.
look good. It must be him. Ain't
Exactly.
me.
So that's why I say for women it's more of a feeling. Like
Yeah,
it just sucks.
yeah,
Like darn it.
yeah,
But then feelings pass.
yeah.
So you just move on.
So the more of like the cold rejections usually not as bad for the women, but the warm ones were the ones
Oh
that's
yeah.
when you're building something up and you're just like, oh, just it's not happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Especially if the woman is invested,
Yeah.
and so what? Like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
That's where it gets them a little bit more.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, more connection, emotion, but as far as like a
Yes.
cold one, they're just like,
Yes.
okay, well.
Yes, exactly. See, the theme there is emotion.
Right?
More emotional ties, that lasts long. Yeah.
Right? That makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Okay, well,
Well,
that's
for guys, it's the opposite, which is funny.
yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, I can see like a cold being like a lot more hurtful for the guys. We're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like it's just like I'm not interested in you. Like what? You didn't even get to
Right.
know who I was. Like,
But then if the girl got to know who he was, they'd be like, oh, okay, I guess, all right. You know, there's part of me you don't like. That's that.
right? We're just like, okay.
That makes logical sense, you know? So it just...
Dang, right there. You just hit a. I'm gonna put this on my my highlight for the topic this time. I'm gonna put that on there. So, but yeah, that's awesome. I never saw in that picture in that light too, because I know I talked about I never really talked about rejection heavily, but just seeing that someone perspective on it, you shine a little bit more light on it. I don't think rejection is not as a negative connotation as people receive it to be.
Absolutely.
Like, what would you recommend someone who, like, for your clients who do go through rejection? Like, what do you recommend people who overcome rejection? I know you mentioned it earlier, but any other recommendations you give someone to go through hot or cold rejections?
Like in the moment, or you mean like if they've had a lot of it and...
Both. Let's do both. Like, that's good.
So in the moment, it's recognizing first, yes, I'm not going to say you're not allowed to feel sad or angry at first. Quickly, you'll notice that. So feel it, and then immediately already kind of, I call it a lifeline. So what a lifeline is a statement you tell yourself to kind of save yourself in your negative thoughts. So everyone's a little different on lifeline. But usually I would say something at that point about yourself that lets you kind of move forward. Mm-hmm. So whether that be saying, I'm okay. Like, I'm a really great person. That person didn't see it. That's it, right? Other people say, some guys are just so straightforward with themselves. They're like, get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it, man. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, right.
So if you're really talking to yourself so that you can at least overcome it and not let yourself go into this negative hole.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to continuous rejection, you really have to really look, like I think, I mentioned it before. Look at what's happened, but really see it as a learning experience. Mm-hmm. Really, really see it that way, because I don't think people see it that way. They just keep thinking, this sucks, this is horrible, why does this happen to me? But it's like, if you think about it in your career, or when we apply for colleges, when you get rejected, what happens? You have to keep thinking, okay, I learned. Something went wrong in that interview. I have to learn. So if you keep thinking in that way, what am I trying to learn here? What can I do differently? Then that's how you overcome it. But at the end of the day, just remember, it's not a dead end. There's hope.
Oh, well,
there really, really is hope. You have to know that. And you have to believe in it, and you cannot blame the world. That's the one thing I say. If people start blaming the world, you're in for a very not so pleasant experience moving forward. So if you blame all women, and you blame all men are like this, and all women are like this, dating sucks, like the negative kind of talk.
Yeah.
Sorry, like you're just not. It's not getting anywhere.
Well, that's definitely a mic drop for that one. Hopefully
I call it a reframe. That's what I call it.
A reframe.
You reframe your thoughts.
Dang. Okay. So hopefully my listeners on here, a lot of people who dealt with that too. Hopefully it helps them. So I have a couple people who ask me that question a lot, and hopefully that brings some something to perspective for people, because I know people who are you know, as far as women itself, they're jumping back to a relationship after just a tremendous breakup or divorce, and they're just trying to get back to ground. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, I know I'll probably wrap it up real quick. I know you got to head out of here soon, but not sure if you want to say anything else to our listeners. Oh, shoot. It's just you got an appointment, huh?
No, it's okay. I actually think it's a package.
Oh.
The doorbell. If it rings again, then I'll see. But I think that's it.
But yeah, anything else you want to add on here? You know, I don't know if you have anything else to say.
That's about it. I always like to leave on a positive note.
Yeah.
And what I would have to say to everybody, especially because I've been in this field for so long, almost a decade, I've worked with so many people of all ages, from like 19 to 95, you know? So if you think that your scenario is some horrible, unique scenario and no one's like you, and it's you know, there is someone out there that has a completely different scenario than you, but they're making it work.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very possible as long as you get yourself up and do something different. That's really it.
Oh, well, I know if you want to mention anything about your website for some people who are seeking a coach, you want to tell them how to get to your website or have access to you or email?
Yeah. So for anyone listening to this, I'll give you guys something special. So you can go on Good Gentleman, remember goodgentleman.com/apply. That's where you can actually book a call with me for free. And if in the comments, there's a comment section where it says talk about your past history of relationships, if you put on there Why Date, which is your podcast, I'll know you listened to this, and I'll give you this free PDF that I have.
Oh, nice.
You can choose between flirting, or you can choose between locating the right one for you.
Oh, wow.
So you get a free gift for that. But not everyone hops on the call, obviously, gets free stuff. But if you guys are listening, I appreciate you.
Hey, you know, hopefully the listeners appreciate you too as well, and they'll capitalize on it, because that you guys fellas, come on, man. Like, I know a lot of guys out there who are in the same situation. They need a dating coach, definitely. And I know a lot of good potential guys out there. But yeah, so I'll put the link on there of her website and everything else you guys need on our podcast episode description. And start from there. Please definitely outreach to her. She is very knowledgeable in what she does. So I definitely appreciate you being on this call or podcast episode, whatever you call it, like / live stream / YouTube. But definitely appreciate you and the time and effort to come out. I know we postponed it because both things happened. I had to go into work, and then you had a flight delay. I was like, oh no, this has to happen today. So definitely appreciate you coming on and spreading your knowledge and vision to other people. So yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you for having me.
No, yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, I think that's it. I don't have anything else to say. If you guys listen to it, follow the YouTube. Hopefully I post this episode on video live stream if it works out for me. If Instagram is my best friend today and post this for me, or I'll just put it on my SoundCloud and you guys can listen on there. But that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys are on my live stream, thank you for tuning in too as well. And next episode, I will probably post the next episode before what I'm going to be talking about. I haven't created a content for next week. I know I'm going to have another dating coach on there too. So stay tuned, guys. That's it for today. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Thank you.